Hello guys, my name is Jenna Barajas and I'll be doing chapter 3, Psychological Theories on Personality. This chapter is based on the study of one's personality. The book mentions that they have many different theories to verify humans' personality, but can't fit it all in the chapter, so they only mention the three most important ones on the book, which are the psychoanalytical, the behavioral, and phenomenological. Each of these theories help build and understand the human nature of one. They do mention three frameworks, which the frameworks are psychoanalytical framework, the irrational person who strives to reduce inner tensions and conflicts accumulate from his or her past, which is largely unconscious. And they have the behavioral framework, the rational reactive person whose behavior is determined by the consequences of his or her response to immediate environment. Now they have the phenomenological framework, the creative thinking person who has free will choose alternatives to create meaning in life and to fulfill his or her own potentials. We're going to go ahead and start off with the psychological theory, the first theory that they mention in the book. Psychological theory can be defined as a set of propositions or assumptions that are trying to explain structure, which its function, dynamics, and change development of personality through empirical methods. Some examples that the book used for psychological theory is that sons are more attached to their mothers and daughters are more attached to their fathers, and we tend to see that a lot more in the families as well. You see that the little girl follows her dad, or they say, "Oh, she's a daddy's girl," or the boy, he's a mama's boy. So it's a little bit that's a psychological theory that a lot of people can compare to. Another one is a man is chewed out by his boss at work and goes home and complains about his wife's cooking. Now the wife gets upset and she turns and snaps at her child. The child then kicks the cat. So if you see, that's like a little chain. They're not able to take out the anger on the person that caused that anger, so they go ahead and take out the anger on somebody else that they know that they'll be allowed to take it out on. Those examples reflect on psychological theory in one of the most comprehensive theoretical frameworks in personality of a human. The example that I just shared with you guys reflects on the arrows, the unconsciousness, motivation, and defense mechanism. Sigmund Freud found psychological. He specialized in neurology, nervous disorders, and later became a practicing neurologist and psychotherapist. Freud created a structural model of psych in it, and he named three categories, which are the ID, the ego, and the superego. These three describe Freud's personality structure of a human. The ID is a primary process. The ID we are born within, but we have no consciousness of it. The ID helps us out when one is hungry, thirsty, or or sex is the example he uses. The ego is helped develop by the ID within the time as one is growing from a baby, it starts to grow. So within the age of 6 to 8 months, the ego can tell what is real and what is fake with the help of the ID. The ego is the secondary process. Now the superego evolves with the help of the ego itself. This is happening around the early age of 3 to 5 years. This is occurring while learning the social norms and the cultural values of the parents from the parents. Sorry. The superego is more moral and ethical than anything, and anxiety is felt by the ego. The example the book uses is separation within a mother and a child on the first day of school for the child. This is neurotic anxiety, and it's just a panic that they both feel to be a couple hours apart from each other. They both know that they're going to be okay and that there's no danger at all. The idea gets the ego going with the anxiety of both being apart for the first time ever. Obviously, the mom's going to feel uncomfortable. The baby's not going to know who's going to be taking care of him. It's all new to him, and to the mom, it's new to her as well. Obviously, the mom knows that the baby will be okay, but not the baby itself. The baby, it's his or her first time away from her, from her, sorry, from his mom. Repression is caused by the ego as well as is a mental process from the forced anxiety, provoking impulse ideas, feels, and events away from the consciousness. Denial is someone not trying to face the ugly truth, also provoked by the ego. Fred also came up with some categories a baby goes through while growing up with the starts of with the, growing up, and it starts out with the oral stage, the anal stage, the phallic stage, the latency stage, the genital stage. All of these the baby will be growing up into through the different years of age. It starts from 12 to 18 months all the way up to 5 years or 6 years of age. Now I'm going to be presenting the second theory, which is the behavioral theory, and this one was found by another theorist. His name is B.F. Skinner. Man, sorry, my nose is a little clogged. Um, and his definition is behavior is what an organism is doing, or more accurately, what is observed by another organism to be doing. We don't know why we do things a certain way, but there's an explanation for everything that one does. Skinner's science of human behavior was broken down into 5 theory steps. All these steps are on page 60. Skinner's theory is that behavior is what one organism is doing due to what one person is seeing being done by another person. Behavior is what keeps the world going, and it keeps everything the way it is ran, but it all brings consequences into one's life. Punishment is considered as a poor behavior for Skinners. It might bring someone to do something bad due to the emotions that they will be left with after the consequences that they had to face. The example used in the book is a child being abused by the parent. They tend to avoid the parents, and they tend to avoid any adult in their life. Maybe because they think that the adult might be the same way that the parents treating them, so they just rather not even try to have that connection with the adult. There are negative and positive behaviors for Skinner's theory. If one is being mistreated, then they will feel anger. They will feel anger, fear, or pain. The positive behavior will be successive and rewarding. Schedules of reinforcement shapes the behavior, and it all depends on it. Skinner has 4 major subtypes of reinforcement scheduled, which are fixed interval reinforcement scheduled. This one is done every 5 minutes. The second one is a variable interval reinforcement, which is done more frequently, 3 to 5 to 2 minutes. The third one will be fixed radial reinforcement scheduled. This one's done every 5th occurrence. The last one will be variable radial reinforcement scheduled. This one is done 3, 6, or 4 occurrence. We all tend to learn some behaviors from others, but we choose how to behave and not how others tell us to behave. At the end of the day, it's one's choice, and one will do whatever they want, right? So now I will be presenting the phenomenological theory, which is the last theory that they mentioned in chapter 3. The phenomenological theory is viewed in many different ways. It all varies on what ways one wants to view it. There is a different theories that can view it in different ways. Phenomenological composes various humanistics and existential theories in personality. Phenomenological reduction is an act of eliminating or suspending all assumptions and beliefs that influence our perceptions and cognition, so that we understand the true essence of human consciousness. According to Carl Rogers, all organisms has an inherent tendency to maintain and enhance the quality of life to the fullest. Roger avoids a psychopathological labeling such as neurists or psychics. since he believes there is no sharp dividing line between psychological normalcy and disorder, but a continuum of different adjustments. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is based on the assumption that human beings are motivated by the five universal basic needs that can be satisfied in a hierarchical order in terms of priority or relative potency of the needs. The psychological needs, the most potent of all needs. They are the essentials for human survival, such as food, water, oxygen, and etc. The safety needs, including security, stability, dependency, freedom, and so on. Roger and Maslow both share an optimistic view of human nature, and I come to an end to go ahead and finish chapter 3. I'll be posting up my outline just in case you guys want to read it. If I said some words incorrectly, I apologize. But have a good day. Bye.